Happy Friday. Glad to be here with you again today. I'm sure you're slightly intrigued by the title of this Facebook Live today. And I have to blame my quartet for this episode today because this week our coach asked us to sing a fun song after we'd warmed up with scales. The first thing that popped into my head for some reason was a song about a chicken that couldn't lay an egg. So they poured hot water up and down his leg. A silly children's song. And from that, I segued into a song that I must have learned in 4 H camp or church camp called Boom Boom, Ain't It Great to Be Crazy? Remember that one? I doubt that the politically correct police would approve of that song because it seems to be making fun of people with mental illness. But when I first sang it I sure didn't interpret it that way. It was just a silly kids camp song that lifted our spirits and made us laugh. And since I spent a lot of my life being sad and serious, I needed that song and I needed the freedom it gave me and gives me today to cut loose sometimes and be a kid. Our quartet needed silliness to loosen up, relax, and not stress so much about whether we'd learned our songs notes or whether we had defects that we perceived as singers. So that I think that silliness needs to be our warm-up song every week. And I think all of us need to give ourselves permission to let go and act like a kid again. And speaking of kids, I've found that children give us the best examples of the pure freedom that silliness can give us. Little ones love it when my husband talks to them in his Donald Duck voice. And I'll bet you have children and maybe even adults in the family that always have knock knock jokes to share. Last summer, I gave our great grandson Sandra Boynton's Belly Button book. And that is what he wants his mom to read to him every night before going to bed. He's heard it millions of times by now, but he still giggles every time the book calls a hippo belly button a bebo. Plus, he loves the song lyrics in the book that go, belly button, you're oh so fine. Oh, belly button, I'm so happy you're mine. Just a silly little song, but it just really kind of gets stuck in your head. I'm sure you're wondering what the heck being silly has to do with your personal history. Well, I would bet that your grandkids or nieces and nephews are going to remember a silly song or a joke that you told them. They'll remember your attitude, your silliness long after you're gone. I think my husband's kids and grandkids are going to always remember his irritating but funny statements like pointing to the tires on their car as they're about to leave and warning them in a panicky voice, "Hey, your wheels are going round and around." Like there's something seriously wrong with the tires. He gets them at first. And he always made them pick up their feet off the floorboard when traveling in a vehicle and crossing railroad tracks. These silly habits, sayings, and these songs, they all speak to personality and they need to be captured in a memoir so that your loved ones can easily recall the fun you had long after you're gone. I have a writing friend who has started something she calls Tiara Tuesdays. And she usually sits in a car wearing a toy tiara and does a selfie video while singing along with a song that she's playing on her car stereo. It's funny and may even become part of her author branding. She is getting ready to release a children's book. I'm not going to start anything similar here, so don't worry, but I'm going to push through my lifelong fear of making an absolute fool of myself, and I'm going to sing a verse from Boom Boom. It's Friday. Time to cut loose and have some fun, right? And there are probably worse things than being called a crazy old lady. But I'm going to have to refer to my lyrics because these are different lyrics than than what I learned in camp. Here we go. A horse and a flea and three blind mice sat on a tombstone shooting dice. The horse he slipped and fell on the flea. Whoops, said the flea. There's a horse on me. Boom, boom, ain't it great to be crazy? Boom, boom, ain't it great to be crazy? Silly and foolish all day long. Boom, boom, ain't it great to be crazy? I think that's enough for a Friday. I could go on. There are several cute verses. But I will contain myself, restrain myself. I hope you have found this silliness a little entertaining. And just remember that your silliness, your fun, your joy in life needs to be recorded in your memoir. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you next time.